Sir, can you just go to store.js once?
Okay, is anyone stuck anywhere?
Sir, I just needed to see store.js once. That's it.
Yeah. 1 second, let me open it. Hmm. This is store. Let me split view. This is reducer. We have like only two files.
Thank you, sir.
Hmm. Okay. What about others? I mean, like we have like a lot of people. Afshan, Ashutosh, Deepti, Mahbub Qureshi, Akib, Faizan. Is it done? Stuck somewhere? How is it? Is it done? Just raise your hand if it's done. I can see only few people. One, two, three, four, nine, 8 people. And what about others? Still doing. 9, 10, 11, 12. Who else? Who else? Who else? Vani, Shravan, Zubair. What about you all? Okay, cool. Let's continue. Okay, so this was like a very bare minimum setup. Okay, so if you understood till now, I mean, like setting up this is like only for the one time. You don't have to do it like again and again. Okay, now let's go ahead and for let's see. I don't want to focus on writing like a lot of action, lot of reducers, but I want to since we have like less time, I want to cover like most of the cases. For example, if you want to make a API call through Redux, and when to make a API call through Redux, and when to avoid it, all those things I need to cover. Okay, so just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry for that. Huh. So coming back to this, so what I want to do now is let's see how we can what do you call how we can access this reducer's data. So we even have like this reducer data, right? As I said, this is like a kind of comprised of a store. If I want to access this reducer data, how I can do that? Correct. Now let's go to some any component. I'll just like, go to login component just for an example. See, for here I want to access the reducers data. See, earlier, right, when we had this class based components, just like go with like a pre-hook. When we didn't had these hooks, then that this was like pretty much harder. Why it was harder? I don't say it's harder, but it's like kind of you have to write like a lot of code. You have to usually do what first you have to write like two functions here. You have to say const map state to props. Then you get like a state here. Again, you have to return it, right? And user, you say state dot user. Again, you have to do like this, something like this, right? Again, for dispatch, you have to do. You don't have to. I mean, like, don't worry about it. I'm just writing it. You have to do map dispatch to props. And you're getting like a dispatch instance here. And you'll be returning something like change name. Here you'll be doing like dispatch of change name, and you're passing like actual payload here, something like this. Okay, and then you'll be using connect here, connect, and here you used to pass like map state to props and map dispatch to props. See, earlier, right, if you want to connect the store, you have to write like this much code. Okay, this is how you have to write it. But now the things are like pretty easy. You don't have to do all these things. What you have to do is simple. You don't even need to learn this. Okay, that's completely fine. It's important what exactly you need to do is, for example, if I want to connect my store, if I want to access the data of my store in this component, login component, what I can do is, see, there is like one hook in React Redux. From React Redux, just React Redux, there is a hook known as use selector. Okay, so this is like a very important hook. This will like kind of make your job very easier. Just like import this use selector hook. See, what does this use selector hook does is this will give you the complete state. Okay, so how it will give you the complete state? Let's go ahead and complete store state. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the local state. I'm talking about the store state. So now let's check this out. Okay, I'll just create a variable on this const say store state, something like this, and I'll say use selector of, here it will give me like state, and I just want to return state. Okay, or if you want to just return like user, you can say state.user, but I just want to return like complete state just to do a console. I'll say console.log of store state. Okay, see, we are not doing anything. What exactly I've done is, if you want to access the data of this store, okay, in this store will consist of this user reducer. This user reducer will consist of what this initial state, right? And I want to access this data. Then what I need to do is I just need to do use selector. A use selector hook is from React Redux. Okay, you can just like say use selector, and it will take like a function. Okay, I am like that function will be having like a parameter as state. So if you just pass the state and just return the state, it means like you'll be getting the complete store, complete object. But if you just want to access only user, then just see in the store. This is the user, right? If you want to access this user, then you can say state.user, then you'll be getting this user. But I want to access the complete state. Let's see what I'll be getting here. Okay. I'll be using store state here. Let me save this. And if I go here, yeah, you can see here, see, I'm getting this complete. Wait a second. I'll just want to write this. Cool. If you see here, like we're getting this complete store. See here, expand this. See, I'm getting this user. This is a user is like one reducer, right? See, it's like pretty easier to access it. Earlier, it was like kind of pretty harder where you want to do like connect map state to props, map dispatch to props. Again, you have to from props, you have to extract it. You don't have to do this. You're getting like a complete store here. Okay. If the store has like multiple reducers, you'll get like all the reducers here. Let's say you just want to access user here. Okay. You don't want to access like all the things. You just need to access user. I'll just say state dot user. I'll say as it's like an object. I'll say state dot user. You'll be getting like only user object here. See here, I'm getting like only user object. Is this clear? This part, this line, is this clear? Use selector. Yes, no,
Yes.
yeah. Any doubt? You can ask if you have any questions. Go ahead and ask. That's fine. No questions. Okay, that is like okay. Cool. So this is how you will access the this thing. Okay. Now for here for an example, what I'll do is I'll just like we see we have this this thing, right? I mean like in the Redux I have this actions reducer store.js. Here I'll create like one folder known as reducers dot sorry search reducers, and this reducer.js I'll just like move it to here in reducers because I'll be having like multiple reducers, right? I want to keep it, and I'll rename it to user dot reducers.js, user.reducer.js, because I want to create like another reducer that is like cart reducer. Okay, I'll just say cart.reducer.js. Okay, whatever we have like in the user, I'll just like copy the same thing here, copy in the cart as well. Okay, initial state will be kind of what you call initial state will be like kind of empty array. Okay, I'll not put anything here. Whatever we need, we'll be having like what do you call different cases. We'll be seeing that, but my idea is like I'll just like import here and I'll show you first. I'll import cart reducer from reducers cart reducer, right? And if I want to access cart reducer, you can pass this here cart reducer. Okay, let me rename this to cart reducer. If I save this, see you can okay here. Wait a second. In the login page, let me get the complete state. See, if I save this, what will happen is, see, I'm getting the store. In the store, we have getting this user. Okay, as well as I'm getting a card. Okay, so whatever you add there, this complete object is a store. That's it. Nothing fancy here. Okay, we make it like very complicated. Store is nothing but it comprises of like multiple what do you call simple objects, and those objects are like coming from the reducers. Okay, reducers maintain their own state, and if you want to modify that those reducer state, what you'll do is you will dispatch an action. Okay, we have not seen that yet, but this is how we have to do. I mean, like, do you have any? I mean, like, is it clear till now? If it is not clear, tell me. I'll repeat it again. Come on, guys, respond. Clear. At least put it in chat so that I can move faster. Clear, not clear. Explain again. Anything would be fine. Put it in chat. Or if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Cool. Okay, so this is how we have to do it. Okay, now let's do a very simple stuff here. Okay, what I'll do is, so once I log in, right? So once I log in, whatever the email I have here, let me store that email into inside my user. Okay. Now, how I can do that? I have to dispatch an action. Now, this is like here, things comes pretty interesting here. So what I'll do is, since I'm not making any API call here, I'll just like put whatever the data I'm getting here in the store. Okay, I'll not store the password. That is bad practice. You should not do that. What I'll do is here. Let's assume the user reducer. I'll keep like email as empty as of now. Okay. So let's assume we'll do like a login success here. Something like case login success. If there is a case as login success, what I want to do is I want to return the same object with like email updated. So whatever the state I have, I just like copy that complete state. I just want to override the email. Email is whatever I'm getting from the payload, action dot payload. So how I can dispatch an action where once I log in, this will happen. So this is like quite interesting. So what exactly I want to do is I have to where is that on submit. Login we have here, right? It's here. On login, what exactly I want to do is see here in the local service we are doing something. Okay, I don't want to change this anything here. I just want to dispatch an action here. So if everything, all the checks passes, how to dispatch an action? For example, I said, right, I want to dispatch an action. How to dispatch an action? See that action, you can write it here, where you can write that action here, actions.js. What? See, I want to just like send this action. The action should have like type as, see whatever the type you have in the reducer, right? You have to have like same type, this login success. Okay, just like copy this type. Okay, and I'll put it here. Okay, login success, and the value that will be like payload will be whatever the value I'm getting, right? Okay, I'll just say email here. Okay, so where is this email? I can wrap this into a function. Okay, so for example, let me create a function saying like uh, const login success. Okay, this will return me a, this will return this. Okay, this will return this object. Okay, so where we are getting this email, whenever I dispatch this action, I should pass an email. That will be my payload. Okay, so this is like a simple function I have written. Does anyone has any questions in this? I'm not doing anything. I have written like one function in which takes like one parameter. Okay, so I'll pass that parameter as an email, and I'm returning this object. At the end of the day, in simple term, we're just like returning an object. We're not doing any extra stuff. Okay, why we have wrapped into a function so that it's like kind of callable. Okay, so that I can call this function from my login.js. I want to dispatch this, right? Is this clear? Yes? No?
Yeah, Tajmal, you're just passing the action, like, uh, sorry, you're getting the object and you're not performing any action, right?
No,
Like
no,
changing
I have not
email.
done anything. I have just like written an object here. We need to perform that. I'll show you here.
Okay, it will be just a previous email.
Yeah, there is no email at all, right? If you see the reducer here, it's like empty now, correct?
Okay,
And I
yeah.
have written this function which will take email
Okay,
and that will dispatch an action. Now, where is this email coming from? This will come from the login page here. Okay, I need to
okay,
call that function there. I have not called it.
okay, got it.
Got it? Okay. Now I'll export this. I'll just like export this so that I'll be able to import it here in the user reducer. Sorry, not user reducer, in the login.js. In the login.js, I'll import it. Okay. I'll import, since it's like kind of named export, I need to use these brackets. Okay. From Redux actions. From actions, I need to import login success. Okay. See, it's not only about calling a function, but you have to dispatch a function. There is a difference between calling a function, dispatching a function. Just calling a function will return you an object. But dispatching a function, what exactly that means is like that will go and hit the reducers. Okay, so that was like dispatching in the sense. So how you will dispatch a function? If you want to dispatch a function, sorry, dispatch an action, what we are saying is I want this action to go and hit reducer so that all the necessary steps will happen in the future. Okay, so if you want to dispatch an action, then you can't directly call like this. You can't directly say login success. It's just like a simple normal function call. There's like nothing fancy about it. Okay, but if you want to dispatch an action, you have to use something else. Use dispatch hook, and you have to create it this instance. So for example, here I'm using use selector, right? And just like remove yeah, that's fine. Here I'll create like another variable known as dispatch. Use dispatch. Okay. See, in React Redux, you'll be using like only these two hooks. If you understand how these two are working, I think that would be like much clear. Most of the time, the React project will be set up. Okay, React Redux will be set up. You just need to understand this use selector and use dispatch, how these things are working. The first one, use selector, is actually used to get the data from store. Okay, and the second, this use dispatch is used to get the dispatch instance. You can use this to dispatch an action. How to dispatch an action? I'll just show you here. For example, here on login, right? Once you click on login, I want to dispatch here, right? I will say dispatch of what is the action you want to dispatch. I want to dispatch this login success action. You're correct. I will dispatch this login success action. And what does that login success will take? This will take email. Do we have email here? Yes, we have email as a state. Okay, I'll just like pass that email here. Cool. Now, if you go to the flow, what is happening is, so for first I'll fill the form. Okay, then I'll hit like login button. Then it will to check this validation checks. If everything passes, it will come here. Then it will dispatch login success and whatever the email we have written in the form. Now that will go and hit all the reducers. Okay. Now, if you see here, this login success is containing this type. Right, type is login success. It will go and hit all the reducer. Let's assume it will go to the cart reducer. It will check, do we have any cases as what you call login success? No, right? We don't have any cases login success. Then it will go to the other reducer, user reducer. It will go and check here. Does like login success matches this change name? No, correct. Then it will again go to this next case. Login success matches here. Okay. If the type is same, then it will go and change the email. And what is this action.payload? The action.payload is this payload, this email. Now, where we are getting this email, we are passing that email from here. Okay, so we are passing it from here. You will be getting this here. Then it will go to the reducer here, and this will change the store. We have like totally three things. That's what I explained in the this thing as well while drawing the stuff, right? First, we'll dispatch it. Now, this will go and hit all the reducers. And if the case matches, so this will go and hit all the reducer. If the case matches to one of the case, then what it will do is it will return to a new object with a proper like all the state values copied and the email updated. Now in this flow, does anyone has any confusion? Go ahead and ask. That's fine. Getting confused, like this is like kind of a lot to take in. If you are not knowing Redux, it will be kind of hard. Go ahead and ask. I'll explain again if you're kind of confused in some part. Everything is clear then. If you think this is clear, can you people raise the hand? How many of you think this is clear? Just raise the hand. Okay, 5, 6, 8. 12. And what about like the rest of the 8 people? Rest of 7. Who else didn't raise the hand? Wait a second, let me check. Okay, I mean like yeah, most of you are clear. Okay, so just be aware of these two things. Okay, use selector is to access the state. Use dispatch is to modify the state. Okay, if you know these two, I think that is pretty much okay. Now let's try it out. Let's see how whether this is working or not. Okay, so here if you see here, let me just reload the page. See, for the first this store, what do we have in the store here? Here in the email is empty. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just put some email here. gmail.com. Okay, and the password I'll put like 4678. Now if you see here, before the user in the user object has this email as empty. Okay, so once I hit login, Oh shit, I am not like I have not connected this right. That's one. Once I hit login, this should update. It's already updating, but I'm not able to see here because it's coming to this page. Home page. Okay, wait a second. I'll just like where is that? I should use like some middleware such as Redux logger. Yeah, we'll be using that. No worries about it. Let's go to home page and connect it. Home page. How I can access the store data now? Can someone tell me how I can access the store data here in the home?
Using use selector.
I have to use selector, right? From where I need to import use selector?
Uh, from the React Redux.
Exactly. So I need to import use selector from React Redux, correct? Just like use selector from React Redux. Now let me just print the complete state. Okay, so const store is equal to use selector of it will be given state set return it console.log of store in home, something like this. Store. Okay. If I expand user, see here in the user, right now you can see here like my email has been updated, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, this is how it's actually work. Now if you want to see the complete stuff, let me go ahead and do the complete stuff. Cool. Now first thing is see here in the store, right? We have this user object. In the user object, we have this address as Chandpatna, age 25, email is empty, and name is Tajammul. Okay. So if I want to change this to tajammul@gmail.com and the password, and see even till now, the user is email is empty. Okay. If I hit login now, see it went into the home, and if I expand this store in home, whether it's updated or not, yes or no, in the store.
Yes.
Cool. Only Umer is seeing the difference. And what about others?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this is how you have to update it. There's like only two major things you need to understand. If you want to update a store from anywhere, write like a proper action and update it. And if you want to read that data from anywhere, use like use selector. Now, what exactly I want to do is I want to use this use selector. See, for example, if I want to show the logged in email here at the top right in the header bar, what I can do is I can go to what you call header. I just want to read it right again. Here I'll be using what import from React Redux. Just like do use selector. I'll just import use selector. Okay, and email is in like which reducer? Which reducer does email contain?
User reducer.
User reducer, right? So I can say const user is equal to use selector of state, and I just want to access it the user, right? So I'll say state.user here. So I'll be getting user here. Okay. In this user, I'll be having like email. So here, one second, guys. Sorry. So I want to just like display here. Okay, I'll just like use li. Okay. I want to display user dot email. Okay, I can display like this, right? So I'm getting like user, and inside user I have like email. Correct. You can display user dot email here. So if I just save this now, initially, see I can get this gmail.com. See now once I hit logout, right? Once I hit logout, what I want to do is I want to delete this email because see if I remove logout, still it's showing. But I want to remove this. Once you click on logout, I want to remove this email from the store. How I can do that? Can someone tell me? Can someone walk me through how I can remove this? Go
We
ahead.
need to create
Yeah.
another action,
Create
and we
another
need to
action where
clear that the particular initial state.
cool. What is the action I need to write? I can write like export const reset email, something like this. Reset email,
Yes.
and it will not take anything because I just need to empty the email, right? I just return a new object and type will be again. I'll say a reset email. You can give any type. Okay, it should match like here as well as in reducer. You don't have to give like any payload. That's fine. And you have to match this type in your user reducer. Here in your user reducer, if I'm saying like case as reset email, okay. So what I'll do is I'll just return it with whatever the state I have here. Okay, I'll just like empty the email. Does anyone has any questions here? This and this.
No questions.
No questions. What about others? Asha,
sir.
Ashutosh.
No questions.
No. See now, just like writing this will not do anything. You have to dispatch it. When I need to dispatch this,
On logout click.
On
on
logout.
click on logout, right? So where do I have the logout? Where do I have logout?
Home.js.
Think in home.
In header, right?
Yeah.
It should be in header, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see here like this button, right? See on logout click, I'm clicking on this logout. Okay, in logout I just want to dispatch. But if I want to dispatch, how to dispatch it? What is the procedure to dispatch?
Import the use dispatch.
Import use dispatch. Then
Create an instance.
create an instance. Const dispatch is equal to use dispatch. Then
Dispatch and call that action function.
we need to import that action or
Import.
not.
Yeah.
What was the action name? Reset email. Correct. I'll say dispatch of reset email. That's it. You don't have to pass anything here. Okay. Cool. Now let's go ahead and test it out. This is how you usually do. Okay. I'll just reload this. Okay. Now let me log in. See, once I log in, you can see here in the user, like I have care@innovator.com. That's what like it's displaying here. So once I log out, this email should be again be what you call empty. Okay. Now let's go ahead and hit log out. Now let's go ahead and see this. Now the email is gone. This is how you update the store. It can be with any data. Okay, whatever the logic you are writing, you have to write the logic here. Here, that's it. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Sakhlin, what doubt do you have? Sakhlin Khan.
No, no.
No, dude, I read your what you call form. You said like I have some doubt. I need to clear it.
Yeah,
That's the reason I was
Yeah, that's what cleared.
cleared.
I have pretty cleared. Huh?
Okay. Any other questions? Shravan, Gofran, Rishad, Reshma, Wiz, Nawaz Khan. Any questions?
No questions.
No. Okay. Cool. So this is like kind of basic setup, but this is kind of what you call a bit. What do you call that? This is kind of seeing and consoling all the use selector and seeing it what the state has changed. I mean, like this is kind of tedious, right? I mean, like I need to check if I want to check the state. It's like kind of tedious. I need to go ahead and console everywhere. So better than that, we can use like some middleware. Either you can use an extension or you can use middleware. Middleware is nothing but whatever the action is getting dispatched. Okay, now that action will be going into some sort of pipe. Okay, that pipe we call that as a middleware. Now, if you're giving some functionality into that pipe, the kind of functionality you have that in pipe, and that action is passing through it, and that will get executed. Either you can log that action, you can log the previous state and the next state using middlewares. You can call APIs using the middlewares. You can make like asynchronous calls using middlewares. Middlewares are nothing but just like enhance your store capabilities. Which store capabilities? Your Redux store capabilities. Such simple middleware would be, I'll just like show you like Redux logger. How to use Redux logger? I don't know because I don't use Redux logger. I just use like Redux Redux. Let's see here. Okay, usage. See, first I need to install Redux logger. I have not installed this, right? Let's install this. npm install Redux logger. Okay, this is a middleware. Okay, middleware is nothing but it just like help us in enhance the store capability. Okay, so once you install the Redux logger, right? See, you have to import this Redux logger. Okay, let's import this. Where you have to do this? You have to do this in store. Is this okay? Now, how to use this? So we have this combined reducer. Combined reducer is done. After that, you have to use this apply middleware of logger. You have to use this in create store. That is like second parameter. Combined reducer is like the first one. The second one is enhancer. Okay, you can give like apply middleware. Apply middleware, you need to import it from Redux. Cool. We have to do this. Okay. So once you do this, what will happen is, let me just show you the magic here. So once you dispatch any action, right? See, it will give you all the actions. See, once I dispatch an action, this is the action. Where is it? This is the login action got triggered, and this is the this was the previous state. See, previous state was this, but like once this action got triggered, this action got triggered. Okay, after this action got triggered, what is the next state? The next state is this. You don't have to log it everywhere. I can remove the logs. Let me remove the logs. Let me comment this. Let me comment. Remove this. Let me remove this as well. Let me remove this as well. Now let me reload the page. Now once I reload the page, yeah, see, no action got dispatched, right? Now let me dispatch an action. I'll just click on logout. See, previous state. See, email. You didn't have like email. Again, we don't have email. I just resetted it, right? I just like reloaded the page. That email is gone. Okay. Cool. Now, yeah, now let me log in again. See here. Here now, see previous state. I mean, like you can see the previous state was this before dispatching the action. Then we dispatch this login success action. We dispatch this, and after that, this is the state. Now, what is the difference between this and this? Can you guys see any difference between this and this?
Email has been added.
Yeah, email has been added. You can see that clearly. Okay. Now this is middleware actually enhances the capability of our store to make the development easier. Nothing much. Okay. The email has been added, and if you just like do logout here, now again previous state. Now the previous state is you had email. Now after doing this reset email action, now what happened? The email has been removed. Okay. Did you guys got the concept of like Redux logger? It's just like a middleware. Okay, you have like a different middleware. Redux persist also is a middleware. Redux chunk is also a middleware. It just like enhances your store capability. Now go ahead and ask if you have any questions.
Rajamul, did you code chunk for them?
No. I'm kind of starting. I have just like given them to time to implement it. They took like a lot of time.
No, like what I'm saying is, Rajamul, I got that one.
Mhm.
You use the code in a different branch, okay?
Mhm.
Let them just have a look on that one. They can practice later also, like after the session.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
Because they like are taking a lot of time now. That's why I said.
Yeah, correct. I'll do that. Guys, I'll do that, okay? I mean, what I'll do is I'll just like push the code,
But
but then
so
practice
what
it
I
a bit
said
later.
is 12, right? It is about 12. So the
Mhm.
code which is to the repo, okay. So what I'm saying
Mhm.
is, he will explain the concept. Like that is an important thing, okay. The hard parts
Mhm.
are there.
Right.
So you guys can practice that one. He will push the code. He will push the code to the branch, okay. Is it fine?
Guys, is it fine or like do you want to practice now itself or how is it?
It is fine. Yeah.
It is
See,
fine,
and,
sir.
and if you guys have some concept that is not clear for you guys while writing the code, those type of concepts like some of the hard things, right? Middleware, so those points, if you have highlighted here, Tajamul will explain those things on.
Yeah,
Okay,
guys. If you are using like Redux on a daily basis and you don't know, there are like few things which are kind of bothering you or like you're not sure,
yeah.
go ahead and ask those. I'll cover those. You have any points like that? No. Okay. I mean, like everyone knows Redux then. Then why we are doing Redux here? Cool.
Um, Okay, Tayammul, then fine.
Okay, cool. Now this is done. Okay, this is like how you can add and you can do this. The next thing is, let me just like write us some basic functionality to how you can add the data to Redux. I mean, like how you can add the data to the cart and how you can use the data inside cart. Okay, I'll just like cover that. Then we'll be using what you call Thunk, and I think if you have any questions, then we can take that questions. Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and one second, just give me a second. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and first check the cart functionality whether this is working or not. See, once I add this to cart, and if I go to cart, this is working. Okay. Now what is happening exactly is this is like kind of, you're just like having a some state. We are doing like set cart items. That's it. Now there might be like one issue with this. See, I have added this to a cart, right? If I go to the products again, and if I add it to the cart again, then what will happen is, see, this is coming multiple times. The first thing we have to implement is we have to add to the cart, and that should go to the store. Okay. And if the same product is available there, it should not get added. Okay. Or you can increment the count. It's up to you how you want to do it. You can do it. Now let's try to do that. Okay. Cool. Now what we'll be doing is, let me write like few actions here. Okay. See, for the actions also you can create like a two files. You can create a folder. Okay, let me do this like much easier. I'll create like actions here. In here, move here, and I'll call this as user dot actions actions.js, and I'll create like another file here. I'll call it as a cart.actions.js. Whatever the actions related to cart, I'll just like add here. Okay, I'll be needing like few what do you call actions for the cart, right? The first thing will be export const add item. Okay, here I'll be getting like item as a payload. So here what I'll do is I'll be dispatching. See, this is the syntax. This what I'm doing here is, it's like, instead of, if you don't want to write like return, you can directly do this. It directly returning it. Earlier I used to do. Okay, wait. I'll just like write it here, then I'll show you. Here, say add items cart. Okay, and in payload I'll just like pass item. Cool. See, this also you can write it, or you can even like, if you want to write a bit verbose, you can write it like this as well. Just like comment this. Here you can do something like this as well. So you can even like do this. You're writing like extra brackets here, but you're not writing extra brackets here. Okay, I have a habit of like writing this. Okay, if you want to write it like this, you can write it like this as well. I'm not writing return here. By default, it will return. Okay, so I'm writing this. Add item to the cart. Okay, the next thing is export const remove item. Again, I'll be getting like, I need to get like ID here. Okay, if I pass ID, I think that should be enough. Here type would be remove item from cart, and here will be payload will be ID, right? Payload is ID. Payload is like kind of generic term. You can even like pass it as ID, but just to keep consistency, we are just like saying payload here. These two are enough, but like if you want to add, if you want to what do you call practice, I'll just like add two more functions. Export what do you call update quantity. Add this. Okay, you will learn it. Write a function for this. Update quantity, you need to get like ID. I'll not write any logic here. Like for reducer, you can do this. So this is done. Now let's go to my cart reducer, right? The cart reducer, I have this, and I need to write like what do you call cases for these two, right? So for example, if I am getting case as add item to cart, what I'll do is I'll just say return dot state, comma, and whatever the item I'm getting, right? I'll say action dot payload. See, earlier we used to return an object, but here it is like what array. Okay, so there is no key here. Okay, but we even need to add like one what do you call check here. We'll be doing that. Okay, so don't worry about it. So for case remove item from cart. I'll not do anything here as of now. I'll just like do return state. We'll write the logic a bit later where I just need to add like a filter, but I'll just show you. Is this clear? Is it clear for everyone what I have done here? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yeah? Yes. Others?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's. Do you have a question?
No, Tajul. I just raised the
Okay.
hand.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I hope like this much is clear. Okay. Now what we'll do is when I'm clicking on add to cart, I need to dispatch an action with the item. Okay. So let's see what will happen. So that is in home. I'll just like open here. Home. Okay. Now we might need like use dispatch here. Use dispatch. Right. I've been not using like use selector because I'm just dispatching here, right? Because I'm not showing because earlier I used to console it. That's the reason I did it. Okay. See here, add to cart. We're doing like set cart to items. I don't have to do this. I just need to let me import that action first. Import from Redux actions from cart actions. Okay. And here what I'll do, add item. Okay. So here I'll say add dispatch. I have not created instance of it, right? Let me create an instance of it. Const dispatch is equal to use dispatch. Okay. Then I'll do dispatch of add item. Add item will take like item and it will submit as a product. Okay. So once I do this, so that's it pretty much. Let's test it out. Or is it failing? Why it's failing? Oh, this is cart, right? Sorry. Yeah. This is loading here. Okay. Now once I hit add to cart, so it will the logger will should print this thing. Okay. Let's try it out. And I'll hit add to cart. See here. Previous state we had this cart is 0. Okay. And now user had like the email is 0. The email is fine. That's fine. I mean like I am not logged in. There is some catch. Okay, so this is the action I dispatch. In the payload, I passes all these things. Okay, if you see the payload, this is the product. Okay, now what is the actual state? Now current state is, see, we have cart with 1 item. Earlier we had this cart with 0 items. We have this cart with 1 item. Now if I go to cart, it's not showing here. Why it's not showing here? Because we are reading it from local state. I need to read it from where? If I want to show it here, where do I need to read it from?
From store.
From Redux store, right? Now let's go to Redux store. First, let's go to cart. See here, I'm like doing like cart items. I'm reading it from here. So I need to except Umer. Tell me how I can connect. How I can access the store here.
Use selector.
Use selector. Now except Afsha and Umer. Tell me what exactly I need to write here. If I want to access the store data here.
From React Redux.
From React Redux.
From React Redux. Okay, awesome.
React Redux.
From React, what exactly I need to import?
Use selector.
Use selector, right? Cool. So here I don't have to pass these cart items. This is not required. Instead of that, I just say const cart items is equal to use selector of what I need to write here.
State.
State. What else? Here what?
State dot
State dot. What? State dot what?
Cart.
Cart. I have also forgotten it. Let's see. Yeah, it's like state dot cart. Okay. Let's say state cart here. Okay, now we have like this cart items that should automatically display. Let's go here. See, now it's like working. Awesome, right? Now we have wired up like proper this thing. Now if I just like go ahead and add to the cart, and again I go to the cart, see it's like working. And again I add this. Now this is like a problem we have here is this, if you have already added it, it should not get added. Okay, so how to achieve that? That logic we have to write it in. Where is that reducer? Okay, now let's go ahead and add that logic. Card action, where is it? Card reducer. So here first let's find that element, right? Whatever the action dot payload we are getting, let's find that element in the current state. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll say const found item. A found item is equal to state dot find of whatever the items I have. Item. I'm just like looping over it. Okay, if the item dot id equals to action dot payload dot id. If you have this, then I just want to return it. I'll just say if found item, and I say return state. I don't want to do anything. I'll just need to return this. Okay, this is. I think this should work. I'm not sure. Wait a second. Do we have ID inside that? No, we have ID, right? Okay, this should work. It's like a very simple condition here. Okay, let's go ahead and try this out. I'll click this one time. This one time is done. Now let me click again one time. See, nothing happened. Okay, this is working fine. Okay, or else you can, like, the better thing would be increase the quantity. If you want to do it, increase the quantity. Okay, for that, yeah, you people do it. I mean, like, that is kind of challenge again if I don't want to do that. And let's add like a remove button as well here, so that we can implement that in the cart. Where is that? The cart. Yeah, let me add like a button here. Button as remove. Okay. So for that, I have written like an action to dispatch. On click, if I want to dispatch an action, what I need to do?
Use dispatch.
Exactly. I need to use const dispatch is equal to use dispatch. Just like do this. Okay. And let's say return. Let me write me a function const remove from cart, and I need to. Okay. On remove from cart, let me pass an ID here because I need ID, right, to remove it. Where is it? P dot. Okay, remove from cart, and here I'll be getting like ID. Here I'll say dispatch of. I'll write like return here. And dispatch of remove from cart of ID. Okay. Now, when you do this, we have not written anything here. When you do like remove from cart, I'll be getting ID here, right? So let's remove it. So how to remove it? I can use like filter, correct? So I'll say const filtered products is equal to state dot filter of whatever the item I'm getting. Item dot ID equal to action dot payload. See, payload will be my ID. Okay, I'm not passing anything as a product. I'm just like passing the ID here. Okay, that's it. I'm doing. And I just want to say return a new state would be filtered products, right? This will be like my new state. Okay, so once I filter, remove it. Let me see whether I have messed up things or things are working for us. Let me add to the cart. Okay, let me remove it. Maximum. Oh, what did I do wrong here? Can you guys see anything wrong here? State dot filter item. I don't know. Say something is wrong here. Oh shit, there is something wrong here. Oh, I'm calling the same function. Shit. No, this is wrong. This is like going to recursion. This is wrong, right? I need to dispatch an action. Import Redux slash action slash cart actions. Remove item. I need to put this here. Stays here. If I remove, now what is the fault? Remove item from cart. Dot ID. Still we have this. What is the problem here? Let me go to the console. Oh, it should be not equal to, right? I need to filter it. It's like not equal to, correct? Let's get out this. Products. Come on, man. This is like just like add it to the cart multiple times. If I add it, it will be like only one time. If I remove it, yeah, it's gone. Okay. See, this is working. Cool. I mean, like now till now, see, you have learned like wherever the state is, wherever you want the data or wherever you want to change the state from, you can do it easily. Now till now, just take like 1 or 2 minutes and conceptualize everything in your mind. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. No questions. Yes, no. If you don't have any questions, like put like everything is clear in the chat at least. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Cool. Okay, so this is done. Like this is like a pretty what do you call straightforward stuff. Now the last thing is, okay, let me show you that first. See, we are using this Redux logger to see here. What if you want to see everything in this Redux DevTools? See, we are not getting here. Why? Because we have to configure these DevTools. Okay, so if you want to configure this DevTools, again, you have to use something known as Redux DevTools Compose. There is like, just see, I don't usually set up this like most often. Redux DevTools. So we can just like add this. I think we don't need to add like any extension. Okay. Let me just copy this. Let me just copy this line. Const compose and answer. Where are they using this? And so I have this like reducer like preloaded state. Okay. This is I need to use. Okay. If I'm using apply middleware, then I just like do like some basic stuff setup as of now. Okay. Then let's do some basic setup. First, let me copy paste this and let me see whether this is working or not. Where is that? I'll just like go to store. I'll just like remove this middleware. We don't need middleware as of now. Just like put this. Let me see whether this will work. React state. See, now we are getting it. Just like adding that one line is like going to work here. See here, I'm getting this card. Once you add to the card, you can see here like this. This action got triggered, and you can see the actual action. What was the action here? See, you can do action here, and what was the diff from earlier? You can see, yeah. See, from earlier, if you're seeing this green, it means like it has been added. Okay, in the card. If I click this as well, so you can see here. See, this was added, and you can see the complete state. Just go to the state and go to the tree. Okay, you can see we have like this user. In user we have like this much stuff, and in the cart we have like this much stuff. This is like the first, this second thing, and you can verify that by going here into the cart. And if you want to remove it, just like click on one remove. See, remove item from the cart. What happened is you can see the diff as well here. See that the first element got removed, okay, and at the current state, this is the state. If you want to see the transition, what happened exactly, you can jump to this state as well. You can just like click on this jump. See, earlier you had like this when you did this, and now if you jump here after like performing this, this happened, okay. And when you jump here, if you want to see what at that particular moment what was the state, just like click on here, and you can see the state here. At that particular moment you had like these two things, but currently see we have like this only one, and you can jump this, or you can even like hit play here. It will automatically show this. This is how you can add, but there is like a kind of advanced setup you can even like do. You can use like something known as a compose enhancers. I wanted to show that, but like since like we're shortage on time, I think I'll just skip that. Okay, this is like much better. Just see this, and just don't use directly like this. You have to use it like what you call proper what do you call it, with proper nullish checks. Now you have this Redux DevTools extension installed. Now this is working. What if a user doesn't have this Redux DevTools extension installed? Then this will break. So you have to use something known as anded condition and like this compose. Just like go ahead and read this page, and they will give you like a proper thing how you need to do it. Just read this. See, this is how you have to use this. First, you have to use the compose enhancers. Then you need to check whether that window has this DevTools installed or not. If it is installed, use it. If it doesn't install, just like use the compose from Redux. Okay, and use this compose enhancer in your what do you call it, store. So you have to use like apply middleware here, and then use this compose enhancers. This is how you have to use it. Okay, I mean like we are kind of out of time now, or else I would have shown you like properly. But utilize this. Utilizing this will be like giving you like complete stuff. You don't have to do like console.logs. You can just like see here everything, and one after another you'll be having like much clearer idea. Okay. Cool. Now going to the last part, I mean, like I just wanted to see. I wanted to show the persist as well, but we are like out of time. At least let me show you the thung part. Okay. As of now, I'll just like remove this. I just like add logger itself because this is like much better. Yeah. So here we have like logger, or else you can create like multiple middlewares here. We have installed thunk, right? Now what is thunk is also. What is it? I'll just like install this port thunk from Redux. Okay. See this apply middleware. If you have like multiple middlewares, for example, thunk is also middleware, logger is also middleware. Then what you can do is you can give this in a array. Instead of doing that, you can just like create a array here. I'll say const middlewares is equal to logger, comma thunk, right? So here you can say dot 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 middlewares. Okay, if you do this, now both will apply. Now you understood like what is the use of logger, right? And the use of logger is basically you can print the previous state, current state, previous state, and the current state, and during the transition of which action triggered the transition, right? From the previous state to the current state, which action triggered the transition. If you want to know, this like logger is useful. Now, what is the use of thunk? See, this is like very interesting part here. Whenever you dispatch an action, right? For example, here. Where is that? See, we are dispatching an action. So what does action consist of? What does action consist of?
Type and payload.
Yeah. So what is that basically? What is this?
Object.
Object. See, action is nothing but an object which will consist of type and payload. Now payload is also optional, but type is kind of mandatory, right? But if you have saw till now, whatever the Redux you are doing, either it's like reading from the store or like dispatching to the store, all these operation consisted of like what you call synchronous operation. You just like dispatch it gone. There is like no wait time here. Okay, now what if you want to do some sort of asynchronous call which will take some time, right? Or you want to run some background some task at the background. How you can run the promises in action, that is not possible. Okay, here thunk comes into picture. What thunk says is, okay boss, I'll make your actions asynchronous. Okay, action asynchronous in the sense here you can even call API. Okay, in the action you can call API. For example, let's assume you're writing something like this: export const get products. Okay, you're saying export const get products here. See, and another thing is like this, which Akhib asked. This is like a very important question. So when you want to make like API asynchronous, For example, we usually call the API here, right? For example, let me show you here. If you see here, like we're calling a API here, correct? This is like called directly in home.js. Now, this is like a better approach. Okay, we are calling this API. I think things are working fine. Then why you need to call the API in here in the action? Why you want to use Redux to call the API? Any idea? Why do you need that? You need that? You might have like worked with Redux. You might have used even like Thunk, but what scenario where you will be using Thunk, and at what scenario you'll be using like this? Any idea? No idea. Okay, that's fine. And what about others?
To process some data. For example, if we have to plot a chart, pie chart, and something.
Sorry, Ashutosh, can you repeat?
To process a calculation, or if, for example, if we want to display a pie chart from the API data, to process and hold the data, and after that we can show this in the form pie chart.
Yeah. Ashish, whatever you're saying, right? First, like to get the data, and I want to process the data, and I want to show it. You can do that. Definitely, you can do that in reducers. That's the one way of like doing it here. But even you can do that here as well, right? You can process the data here. Whatever you want to change it here, then set the state. Correct.
If we call that
Yeah.
API in actions, then we can
Mhm.
set in a reducer, and it will be easy to pass the data in every components by using a dispatch. But if you call that in a particular use effect, like it's showing in fetch API, so can't store that in Redux.
Correct. Whatever Akib said is also correct. So Akib is saying, for example, if you want to store the data in the store, then you have to call it like this is a better approach. Calling it, everything will go on a data layer. You don't have to call the API in your component. That will mess up the things. Whatever Akib said is also correct. Okay, but still, Akib, I mean, like even if you call the API here, right? I mean, like even if you call the API here, you can like you can create like one more action here, right? Such as like export, const, set data, and with that data, you'll be getting like data here, and you can write like return type set data.
Yeah, we can do like this. Like this.
You can do like this as well, right?
We can call that set data in that particular API call.
Yeah, you can call this here inside this, right?
Yes.
Again, that's like kind of preference. See why this thing got introduced to make like asynchronous call if you want to make API calls to do it, and this will make like a uniformity. For example, if you are doing like thunk, see there is like one problem here. I have worked like almost 5 years till now, and people perceive like kind of in a wrong direction. Whenever we are using thunk, what all the people, like not all the people, most of the people think is, since we are using thunk, let's move all the API calls to the Redux. If you do that, right, that's kind of problem. See, what you have to do is you have to manage the loading state, you have to manage the success state, you have to manage the failure state. Even though if you have like that component data which you're using, that is used only like in small part, you have to do all those things. I think that is unnecessary. Okay, so whether you want to manage the data only for a small part, then go ahead and call the API in the same page. You don't have to call you using Thunk. Now, why we use Thunk is, for example, as Akib said, if you want to move the complete data layer, I mean, like if you want to move the complete data layer to the Redux, then go ahead and use Thunk. But like Thunk is not that much necessary. Okay, if you want to use it, you can use it, or else you can leave it. But in our current scenario, right, I mean, like I demoed like our products, this thing, and like Akib asked me like how you are managing loading state. See, we are not managing loading state through Redux. We don't do that. Okay, we are just like storing the data in the Redux and we are manipulating it. Whatever is happening, that initial API call is happening on a component level. Okay, and you're just like showing the loading state there. If you manage the data here, loading state, then you have to manage loading state for each and every API, right? Then again, you have to reset the state. You'll be like writing like a lot of code. You don't have to do that. That's your answer.
For example, I'm using one get API is there. Okay.
Yeah.
In that I'm using one put API.
Correct.
Like if I want to update one particular name, after dispatching that put API, then I need to call again that get API to update the data. Like how can I do like that? Then I need to call that get API again, no, by using that loading part.
So if you want, the better thing would be just write like one function. If you want to do like do Redux thunk, in Redux thunk it's just write like one function, and inside that call two actions, and you can maintain like only one loading state, right? That will solve your problem, correct?
Yeah, we can do.
You can do that as well. Or if you're just like showing that data, let's assume you're not using that data in multiple places, you're just like showing that data only in that particular thing. Dispatch, use put action in the thunk, and don't use get action in the thunk. That's like unnecessary, right? Just like use that get action as a normal call, as you're doing here in the fetch, right? You can do this will like make your life much easier.
Yes.
And you don't have to pass. And like one terminology which I have observed is like in my second company, we had this project. In that project, what exactly my seniors were following was put each and every API in the Redux. Okay, that's like completely wrong. I mean like suggest it. Okay, after I went out to a different company, there was like this guy who helped me. Why you're doing that? Like that is not better approach. And if you keep on doing that, what will happen is you have to maintain like a lot of flags. For example, you have to maintain the flag for such as like get API loading, then like again for like put API loading. Why you have to do this? They're like if you have like 25 APIs, then you'll be having like 25 loading flags, correct? You can definitely reduce this just like going with like component level code. Cool. That's the idea. Yeah. Now coming back to this thing, if you want to make like a API call using Redux thunk, so how you can do it? See, I usually all these things, right? Thunk and all those things, I don't use it now. Okay, so okay, I Redux thunk, I have added thunk. Okay, I have applied as well. See, you have to do something like this. Okay, so first you'll write a function, then inside that you'll be getting like another action. Inside that you'll be getting dispatch. Okay, cool. So this is the thing. Here I'll be writing like another function. Here I'll be getting like dispatch. Okay. Now here, what you can do is, if you want to make like a API call here, make a API call. For example, I'll just like put here itself. Just like copy this. You can make a API call here, and after the success dot, then instead of like doing like res dot, yeah, this is fine. And instead of doing like set products, dispatch an action. You can write like an we have written like set data here, right? Passing like data here. Call this dispatch action here. You can say dispatch of set data of whatever the result I'm getting. Okay, you can do this. And once you get like error here, you can write set data, let's assume success, and let's assume export const set data failure, something like this. Okay, yeah, that's it, right? And I need to do set data success here. I call this here set data success. Okay, and during the error, okay, you can even like pass error here if you want to. And you can set payload as error. Guys, I'm just writing a bit faster. I'll explain it. Okay, don't worry about it. And so data folder. I just like pass some messages. Something. Okay. So you can do something like this as well. Yeah. Cool. Now you can call this. You can dispatch this action. Okay. You can dispatch this action in your component instead of doing this. Wait a second. I need to write like one more reducer for this. I need to write one more reducer. Let me write like another reducer here. Wait a second. Card reducer actions. Oh, I mean the user actions I have written this. Anyways, let me write like one more file known as product dot products action dot js products dot actions dot js. Okay, reducer is products.reducer.js. Okay. Whatever the actions related to product, let me copy that. We have this set data success, copy, cut this, I'll put it here. Okay. And in the reducer, you copy this cart reducer itself. Okay. Products reducer here. And yeah, what was those things? Products.action.js. So we have like the set data success. Okay. You can change this to set product success. Okay. I mean, I'll just like keep it like that to here. Okay. Initial state, I'll say items. It will be like empty array, and I'll say loading as false and error as null. Okay. So I'll set it like this. But once I get like set data success, what I'll do is I'll return a object with whatever the state I have, plus I'll say loading. I can even like pass like another state here, right? I can write like another state here. Wait a second. Set data loading as well. Set data loading. And I'll be not passing any data here. Taylor will be also method. And this will be also that will like loading. Guys, I'm just writing this. I'll just like explain you. 1 second. Just give me a minute. Here I'll be like writing case set data loading. Right. Here, yeah. See, once it's like loading, I'll just like make that loading flag as true. Whatever this loading flag we have, right? It's like false initially. I'll make it true. Okay. As a dot state, I'll make it as loading as true. Okay. Well, when it's like set data is success, again, I'll make like loading as false because I just want to stop loading. Once the data we have, then we have items. The items should be action dot payload. Okay. And during failure, what I need to do is I just want to return dot state. Again, I need to, if the loading is true, I just want to make like loading as false. And I need to set like error as action dot payload. Okay. I set it like this. Cart user, let me change to products user. Okay, this is done. Okay, now let me explain this. So here, when we call this, let me dispatch here action first. Dispatch set data loading. Okay. Cool. See, we are moving like each and every call to the Redux. So what exactly I have done here is, if you see here, see earlier we used to write like a very simple what do you call action, and we used to dispatch it. Okay, but when you want to talk about, when you want to move that complete this thing to Redux, API calls to Redux, we have written like one API call here, proper API call as get products. Okay, now here in this get products, what is like difference between this get products and I mean like whatever the API call you're doing is, this whatever you're doing here, right, this will completely operate on Redux. So I'm saying that get products, I'll be dispatching this action from my component, and when that happens, right, first it will dispatch like one action here, dispatch set data loading. Okay, now what will happen is the set data loading will get triggered, and that will go to here, and it will set the loading as true. Okay, now then it will go and fetch this, and once you get the result, and we're doing like set data success result. Okay, so again this will get dispatched. So we are like dispatching from the same file. Okay, this will get dispatched. Then again we'll go to set data success. Here it will make loading false, and whatever the payload we have received, that will set here to the items. Okay, then during the set data failure, we'll just keep that error here. This will trigger. Okay, we'll keep the error and we'll make like loading false. Now why we are making is, we want to move everything to Redux, and we don't want to make like API calls from the component. And to be honest, this is like kind of subjective. I don't believe this is a good idea for all the APIs. Yeah, for certain APIs it's a good idea, because if you want to do like a lot of transformation within the store. But if you are doing like this for all the APIs, then you'll be storing like a lot of, for each and every API you'll be having like this 3 extra actions. Okay, which is like unnecessary according to me. Now once you get this right, where is that products? We don't have to, we have to like show the product. Where is that? It's like one. Yeah. See, all this data is gone to the what you call this thing. All this is gone to what you call to the Redux, and we don't need like use state or use effect, and we can remove all these things. But we just need we'll be needing use selector, right? I'll say const just like use it. I'll just like destructure it. I'll say use selector. I'll say state and state dot products. Correct. I have created like a new reducer. Products. In the products, I'll be getting like three things. One will be like items. Items. I'll rename it as I'll rename it to products. Okay, because below I have like products itself. And second item will be like loading, and third will be error. Okay, so this is what we have. So I think this should work fine. If loading is, we'll getting this. If we have error, we'll get this. Okay. Render products. Cool. Let me remove this. I'm not sure what wrong I have, what mistake I have done. I've coded like in a single shot. Let's try it out. React app. Yeah, something is breaking. I'm definitely about that. The home component cannot destruct the property items. With 0. State of products. Okay, it's not able to destructure. Oh, I have not added here. Sorry. Product. What is that? Product set. Products. Let's say product. Products. Cool. Now this should work. Yeah. See our products, and now something went wrong or what? Oh, I'm not dispatching that action itself, right? I should dispatch that get products action. Correct. Let me dispatch that action. We have this use dispatch here. And yeah, during use effect, I need to dispatch it. Okay, dispatch that. I'll be needing like use effect here. Use effect only for the one time. So I'll be using this dependency array. I don't even need to use the dependency array. The brackets. Okay. I say dispatch of get products. Cool. If I do this, think. So now it's working fine. Awesome, awesome, awesome. See here, like I'll just show you the Redux state. It will be kind of amazing to see this. What is lost or found? Let me close and open this again. Inspect Redux instance. Look at it. There is some. Oh shit! I removed it. Right? Sorry, I removed it. That's fine. Leave. Once you log in it, yeah. See here, I'll just show you here. See first, like when we had like this set data loading, right? When the API call happened, at that moment, like this, it was true. Okay. Set data loading was true. Okay. Once the set data was success, what happened? Set data success. Yeah. Once you like set data success happened, here you can see here like error is null, loading is false. Now what happens is like when you have error, the loading will be false and you'll be having error. There will be no items here. Okay. This is how what we have done here is like we have moved everything to the Redux. Okay. So just to summarize in like simple term in Thunk, I'll just like read it out again. Yeah. See here, what exactly we are doing is product actions. The first thing we did was like in store. If you want to make like asynchronous calls, if you want to make an API call in Redux actions, Redux actions are like synchronous. Okay, it doesn't support asynchronicity. Okay, so if you want to make it asynchronous, then you have to use something known as Redux Thunk as a middleware. Okay, once you install like Redux Thunk as a middleware, then you have to apply that middleware here. Okay, I have given like in the middleware we have like two things. One is like logger and this thing. Then you can spread it out. This is like a basic setup you have to do. The second thing is the next thing is you once you want to do call API call, just go ahead and write an action. Okay, this action will be having like this dispatch. Now this dispatch is coming from Thunk. Okay, if you don't write like if you don't have Thunk, then you'll be not getting this function dispatch. Okay, you'll be having this dispatch, and in this dispatch, first what we're doing is we are doing like set data loading, and this will get dispatched here. Okay, so when this gets dispatched, your like loading will be true. Okay, now we are reading that loading in our home.js here. You can see here we are like reading this loading, and when it is true, we are showing this a clip loader. Okay, now that clip loader is coming from spinners, React spinners. Okay, that's like a library, another library. Okay, so once the data is success, so once it is done, and once the data is success here, then what we'll be doing is in reducer again we are doing loading as false and actions items as action.payload. If it is failure, then we are making again loading as false. We are doing like action.payload, which is like error. So which we are passing it from here. Okay, everything can be read through use selector from here. Okay, from here. Yeah, this is like what it is, guys. I can clean this code if you want me to, but see all the states are gone. Some people like to keep the components what clean, so they don't want to call the API here. That is also kind of valid point in some point views. And some people just want to avoid headache by maintaining like a lot of code. They usually call it here itself. I use like mix of both. Okay. Now, how many of you understood this complete stuff? Raise your hands. Mm, 10 people. Okay, that's it. What about others? Where others are like lacking? 11. Who didn't raise the hand? Let me check here. It's kind of hard to compare. Yeah, I'm not sure. Cool. Reshma, what about you? You didn't get it? Reshma and Vignesh got it. Okay. And Deepthi, what about you? What is the doubt?
Yeah, that will ask this is a new concept to me. From the API call which you did it right, that I have not got much clarity about. But anyways, I'll go through the recording once. If I have any doubt, I'll ping in group.
Cool. Okay. So basically, in like a nutshell, what exactly you're doing is whatever the dispatch we're doing from the component, we're doing those dispatches from here. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? No questions. Okay. Awesome. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Even if it might be like scenario-based questions, which I'll be able to help you, I can do it. Take 1 or 2 minutes and do it. Tell me. If not,
Tajamal sir, have a question.
yes, Afshana.
Can we call multiple APIs on a single event handler function?
Yeah, you can
Like
do
this,
that. No, what is the problem in that?
Yeah,
You can.
like it won't be get overlapped or something. It won't show it.
You want to call like one multiple API calls like one after another, or like you want to call it simultaneously?
Simultaneously.
Simultaneously. See, there is something known as promise.all. Okay, you can use that. But if you want to, why do you want to call simultaneously? What is the use of it?
Assume that there is a few tables. Like on click of a single button, I need to map all those tables. But for each table, different API is there. So like that.
You can call. There is no issue in that. You can do something like this. For example, let's assume get all table or something like this. Okay, in this you can call multiple tables. For example, get first table. Okay, let's assume you have like multiple functions. Okay, what multiple functions for multiple API calls? Just you do this. You can use promise dot all, and you can pass in array. You can pass like all those functions, all those API calls. Get first row, get second row, get third row. This is like a better approach. Okay, and it will resolve all the promises. This might be like the first API call. This might be the second API call. This might be the third API call. This will resolve all the responses, and it will give you in like a single what you call array, and you can store that. For example, you can store in responses. Okay, this responses will be this will be array. Okay, so if you say responses of 0, then you'll be getting a response of this get first row. Okay, if you do responses of 1, you'll be getting the get second row. If you're doing get responses responses of 2, you'll be getting this response of get third row. This is how you can achieve it, and these are like different functions. Okay, get first row will be here, and in this you'll be having probably something like this: return fetch of https / get some data / something like this. Okay, you just have to return this, and this will automatically resolve, and you'll get the data.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Cool, guys. Then I'll do one thing. I think we don't have time to cover Redux persist. I'll share the documentation. Okay, it's like pretty easier. If you have like idea of middlewares, which I explained you, logger and this thing, just go through that. Then that will be like much easier.
Let's do one thing. Let's have another session for Redux persist only in the coming workshop, right? We'll get a time. So
yeah,
let's
for
cover
like
that.
5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, can do that.
Yeah, in the next workshop, right? Maybe we are planning for a TypeScript. Maybe like the next month or this month ending. Maybe don't know. So definitely.